Welcome everyone. I'm back with a new Six Flags show, season 2, episode 11, and you might be wondering, something looks a little different. We don't have Caleb. Looks like Caleb is a bit under the weather. How you feeling?
My nose is stuffy.
Yeah. But the show must go on, and what a show we have. We had two kind of, I thought, fun ones the last 2 weeks, and they got the least amount of views. So we're going to go back to our boring shows, because they get more views. So today's topic, it's very riveting. It is places you don't want to get stuck at Six Flags, especially if it's a hot day. Fantastic. So, Six Flags is not known for having a lot of shade. So right now, I'm going to throw a little shade on Six Flags. Throwing some shade. Alright, so we're going to start off before you enter the park. One of the worst places to get stuck on a hot day or any day, member services. I don't know what's going on with this line, and I don't know why there's always a trillion people in this line. That should speak for itself. But you don't want to ever get stuck in the line of member services. There's one in the middle of the park by Thunder River. There's one outside the gates. I've only experienced this once last year, and I think I strategically went when there was only about 3 people there, and I still waited like 20 minutes. But it is what it is. It's member services. They're never going to go fast. There's zero shade in that main area there. So if the sun is beating down on you, eesh, just know it's a long wait. Another spot you don't want to get stuck, right next to it, getting into the park. I've said this many times. They used to have a member entrance for members that's been hit or miss, and I guess there's no members anymore. I don't know what the status of that is. And they don't do the thing they do at like banks or some grocery stores or Six Flags Great America, where they just have one line and then you just go to the next available person. No, it's just you pick a line, and if you pick wrong, it gets so frustrating when you can't get into the park and all the other lines. I mean, this is in everyday life. When all the other lines are going, but then you got people that are looking at their tickets and it's not working, and it's not necessary. Just make one line and then you just filter to whoever's next. Simple fix. Terrible place to get stuck because there's no shade. Again, no shade. So let's go check on Caleb, see how he's doing. How you doing out here? Caleb. Stop smoking. Stop smoking. It's not going to help you get through your allergies. And we're back. Another place I don't like to get stuck. This is why I never go to this place. It's Colonnades, the food place right across from Macho Nacho. There is a little bit of the line that's indoors inside. Most of it's out. And this, for whatever reason, this is the longest wait for food you will experience there. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with them. But if you order something and there's more than like 5 people in line, keep it walking. Horrible place to get stuck. You're hungry. Food comes out, but it doesn't go to you because they don't have any kind of organization. If there's more than 5 people in line, stay away from Colonnades. Trust me, you're welcome. Another terrible place to get stuck in line, the line for Thunder River. Now, when you look down upon the line from above, it looks pretty shady because the queue line goes through kind of an area with a bunch of trees. However, that line is usually not full, at least that part of the queue. It's usually only kind of the one outer lane closest to the Thunder River. That part is in the sun for most of that line. And that ride is such a slow capacity load that it takes forever, especially on a hot summer day, to get to it. So if you can get a flash pass, do that for this ride, because you will be waiting forever in the sun. And then if you get wet, it's about a 25% chance on the ride. Even though the signs say you will get wet, 25% chance you will. You don't want to get stuck on the Thunder River ride line. And the next one is Thunder River itself. The last 25% of the ride, and I've made fun of this before, is nothing. As soon as you get to the part where there's the waterfall, if it's turned on, you just kind of lazily drift back to the platform. There's nothing going on in the ride. It's 100 degrees beating down on you, and then so many times you get stuck either on the ramp or waiting for the ramp because the ride loads so slow. Oh my God. Just, you get stuck there and the sun is just beating down upon you. Horrible place to get stuck at Six Flags is on the Thunder River ride itself, right at their very end. One time Caleb and I were riding it, and a little girl tossed her cookies as we were waiting, and it got mixed in with the water that was still in the bottom of the boat, and it was pretty horrific. I'm just going to leave it at that. But speaking of not feeling well, let's go check on Caleb, see what he's doing. Alright, oh, it looks like he got bugs. I heard him out here saying, "What's up, Doc?" So I brought Doc. So maybe he can fix you up. And we're back. Another ride you don't want to get stuck on. Another ride line. The Boss. Oh, where do we begin with this thing? One, it has the longest queue line that doesn't need to be that long. You go up over the train tracks. Why? I don't know why you can't just cut through the train tracks. If the train's not coming, I don't get it. You have to go up, over, down, then through these zigzags, and then over this huge thing that used to go over the go-kart track. No shade, in the sun. It's awful. Luckily there's never usually a big line, but sometimes there is. And if it's a hot summer day, you do not want to get stuck out there. You will get burnt to a crisp, like I do. I don't tan, I turn red. The Boss line. Another place you don't want to get stuck. Pandemonium. Very slow loading capacity for this ride. It only holds 4 per, whatever they call them, car. Even though it is shaded, sort of, in the queue, no air moves through there. It's very hot, very humid, and you get stuck there forever because the line just doesn't move. Pandemonium, going for it. The line to get the turkey legs. Now, last year, I think it was last year, they finally added some sort of a queue switchback over there. It used to be a free-for-all, and there would be a line zigzagging all over the place for those stupid turkey legs. Zero shade, you're out in the middle of the sun. You can smell the turkey leg. It's just the whole experience is horrible. They at least added it to where you can, like, there's some kind of order for the line, but there's no shade. Awful place, and obviously the food places never go quick. They're always long. Don't want to get stuck there. And I think it's time we go check on Caleb. Let's see what he's up to. All right, Caleb, how you feeling? Any better?
I'm feeling like...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We're back. Let's talk about another place you don't want to get stuck. And this is kind of an oxymoron. The line from Mr. Freeze. Now, you would think a ride called Mr. Freeze, you would be in a very cool, chilly tunnel somewhere waiting. No. First, you got to walk all the way to the ride over Thunder River. There's usually not much of a wait in that part. But when you get to the inside part, it's not very cold. You're in a very lukewarm, moderately hot area, and you have to go through the caverns of Mr. Freeze. They usually only have one train going. I don't know why there's never two. Takes forever to load. Just one at a time. You don't want to get stuck there. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Supergirl. Whew. The ride that replaced the Highland Fling, at least when you waited for the Highland Fling, it was mostly in the shade. And part of Supergirl is in the shade as well. But a big chunk of it is not. You are out in the sun. Supergirl, a very, very slow loading ride as well. I don't know how many it holds, like maybe 20? How many are in that? I don't even know. I've never counted them. Maybe about 20, 24, maybe at the most. I don't know. And then you got to wait forever for the ride to complete, go back down. It takes forever to get the people off and on, and then they got to strap everybody down. It takes forever. Meanwhile, you're sitting in the queue in the hot sun. So those are the worst places that I have to get stuck at Six Flags on a hot day. There's a lot more that we can talk about, but that's kind of the main ones. So before we exit, let's take one final check-in on Caleb and see how he is doing.
Ooh, sick he is. Subscribe. You must.
All right, we're back. Well, that will conclude our kind of boring Six Flags show. The park opens less than 2 weeks. Will we be there? I don't know, because we have some other plans for that day, but we might be. But until then, we will see you next time. May the adventure continue. Like, subscribe, and blah, blah, blah.
Sick he is.
Can't do it. Can't do it.